Hi, I'm KatieStories Bowl, and I'm back with Katie Stories number 32. Wow, 32. I was married when I got 32. My dad walked me down the aisle, and then he passed away that summer. So yeah, that's an interesting number. This week, I want to tell you about hypnotherapy. I'm talking about unraveling the onion and the 14 years of healing that eventually led to an awakening a couple of years ago. So when I left off last week, I did a big 14-minute video. So I promise you today it's gonna be much shorter. It's gonna be a little short one, maybe 6-8 minutes, okay? I'm watching the time. I'll try and stay on track. So last week I sat at this beautiful property. I was telling you about the eagle that flew over when I was setting up. But holy, my allergies were going crazy. So you probably noticed that I had big bags in my eyes. I was feeling looking a bit rough, but I really wanted to do that story. So it's a little overcast today. I was gonna sit outside in front of a really good looking bush, but yeah, the ground's kind of wet and stuff. So I'm in my house. And once I read Eckhart Tolle, thanks so much for your comments and opinions on that. Because yeah, that was a really interesting story if you stuck around for it. Here he's a very interesting man. I mean, he's a spiritual healer that's touched people all over the world. And you go to one of his seminars and he'll just sit in silence for 15 minutes, right? He's just so present, like so grounded, and about giving that grace and that space to other people. And it's true, right? Like if somebody's having a rotten day, if you just stay there and hold space for them, don't react. That's his big thing, right? Don't react. Then it's nothing for their pain body to feed off. And then as they're realizing you're not reacting, they'll realize, wow, this isn't very important, is it? I'm making a really big deal out of this, aren't I? Yeah. And so that's pretty cool. So, from the time I read Eckhart Tolle in 2008, by 2009, there was the recession, but I remember us just moving through it. Those couple of years were a bit tricky, but they were good. I don't have a lot to say on those years. I think by then, a lot of the therapy I'd been taking was settling in, right? And I was remember to use the skills that I was adopting. And I would say, somewhere around 2013, 2014, I was working in a school, and I remember my weight had sort of floated up, about 10 pounds, and I was not comfortable. I was really uncomfortable. And, some of my favorite clothes weren't fitting anymore, and I had to buy a few things, and I thought I'd kind of gotten past that, so it was bothering me. And my husband said to me, you know what, Katie? He goes, didn't my mom know somebody who did hypnotherapy? And I said, yeah, Germana Rovinelli. And he was like, you should go see her. He goes, because you know what? It's here. And I went, yeah, I know, you're right. So I phoned her up and decided to go see her for some hypnotherapy. I basically called her and said, I got a $600 budget, right? Like, I want to work with you with hypnotherapy and nutrition. And so when I went to see her, I just found her to be this, beautiful, another big blonde bombshell, right? And she's a bodybuilder. She does hypnotherapy, teaches jazzercise, like has her own franchise in our town. And, weight training, physio for people, rehab, right? Rehabilitation, the nutrition. She's a certified hypnotherapist. I'm trying to think what else she does. She sells vitamins, and her whole life has been into wellness. But I mentioned last week, has a book coming out. Her story is just incredibly, I don't even know her whole story, but parts she told me, it was very difficult. And her one good thing that came from all that is that her father was big into sports, athletics, and, she took that and used that part of it to help her heal. And she's so wise, like so smart. So I started to go to her, and I would have a cup of tea. And with hypnotherapy, you look at what you used to hear like in the 60s and 70s, like, no, she wasn't putting me in a trance and asking me to bark like a dog. It was more that with hypnotherapy, hang on, I'm just gonna look at my notes. I just made a few notes today because I'm not reading from anything. you heal from negative programming and you relax and open to the power of suggestion. Like tap into your subconscious. And so she has you relax to the power of suggestion so that you now can be open to letting go of certain things or to shifting things, right? Adopting new perspectives and values and beliefs, that you're replacing some old messages, some old negative programming that doesn't serve you. And so these sessions would sometimes be about an hour and 20 minutes. We would talk maybe for the first 20 minutes, half an hour. And then after that, she would just sort of, speak to me very gently and do her thing. You're still awake. I could still hear her. I could still remember everything going on. But just, was just sort of into a very relaxed, suggestive state. And it was awesome. So as I continued on doing that, I was doing the nutrition with her. And she said, I don't want to overwhelm you. And I don't own a scale, right? I just go by my clothes. But, to have a starting point, I had to get on the scale. And of course, I wasn't very happy with what I saw. And I said, yeah, I'm up 10. And she said, okay, to lose the 10, I'm going to keep it really simple. For the next 2 weeks, no sugar. And I want you to have protein with every meal. And she said, when I say protein, I don't mean like the protein in peanut butter or yogurt. I mean like a real piece of meat. So, or an egg. So in the morning, right, with your berries, you're going to have an egg. Put a little bit of cheese on it. And make sure that you're having protein to balance the sugar spike. So if you're having like a handful of grapes or some watermelon, have some almonds or cashew, or, just even a little bite of leftover steak or chicken. And she said, don't be afraid of meat. Don't be scared of ribs and chicken wings and pork chops and all those awesome things. It's sugar you should be scared of. It's the over-processed things that we should be scared of. I'll tell you about more of that in a minute. So I went, okay, so that's my only job, was not to eat sugar for 2 weeks and to eat protein with everything, every meal, make sure there was a bit of protein with it. So she was right. After 2 weeks and just a couple of Hershey's Kisses, because I gotta have a bit of that chocolate, I went to see her and boom, 10 pounds was gone. So I was like right back down to my happy weight. And my happy weight was a little heavier than I am now. And I was okay with that. I was comfy with that, figuring, it's a mom weight. And she said, Katie, you're at your happy weight and that's good. But you're only 5'1", so if you wanted to come down another 5 or so pounds, you could. And really easily, just by sort of eliminating, don't eat shit in a box or frozen. And so I was like, okay. So we're talking about Chewy bars, because my kid was still younger, right? So all those staples like little yogurts and Chewy bars, they're all full of hidden sugar, right? And then her big thing was cereal. And I was kind of like, oh my God, I don't know if I could live without like a bowl of granola in the morning or cereal. Like, what would I eat? What am I going to eat? Just fruit and eggs all the time? And she just smiled and said, don't panic. You just got to get creative. Like, start looking at cooking more of your own things. And she said, food can be really beautiful if you really look at the different things you can do, like playing with a bit of feta cheese or, getting some gorgonzola in your salad and a bit of walnut. And okay, so I was kind of course went home making up all kinds of excuses why I couldn't do that. It'd be way too hard. But as I started to do what she was saying, and as I continued going back to her for a few more sessions, we talked about the bread and the pizza. And she said, you can still have it. Make it. Make your own dough. And we have a bread maker. So we started to, right? We would make our own pizza dough. I would buy like the dough for pizza or the dough for bread, making our own bread and dough. And you don't get all those preservatives. And so that was a few years ago. And yeah, I kind of fell away from making the pizza dough and the bread. But I do eat it kind of sparingly. I still enjoy it, but just a bit. And this is kind of funny because I said this is going to be a short Katie story. We're at 9 minutes already. So, yes, nutrition. Now you know my secrets. I've never gained weight. I'm just stay at this weight I'm small, but I'm very fit. And I lost more than the 5 pounds. And I've kept it off since 2014. It's been 6 years. So just eating clean, right? And when you want to eat that pizza or have that hamburger, that cookie, do it. But then go right back to eating great for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. I just aim for like an 80-20, right? Like there's no real rules around it. I still don't own a scale. I just like to go by how my clothes fit. And then as we carried on with that, she is a jazzercise, so I started the jazzercise. I did that for 5 years. I took a little break because I've been doing a lot of hot yoga in the last 2 years, and I just couldn't juggle it all. But she was so helpful when my book came out. All of those women, like this big, beautiful community of women, were so helpful and friendly. And so I just found Germana really open and easy to talk to. You know, I can be a potty mouth, so I could sit there and swear, although she reminded me that a lot of swearing can darken your aura, so that's true. So you just gotta, you know, use it sparingly, like the cherry on top. And it's more fun too when people aren't expecting it. You let one fly. And she just was really smart. Like she just can put her finger on the pulse of what's happening when someone is suffering and going through a rough time and just doesn't quite know what's eating them. And that was huge with me. And maybe I should save this for next week and I'll talk about it some more because she has a book that's going to be coming out. And so I really want to help her promote that and get the word out. And she also talked to me about boundaries. I have boundaries. I'm good with boundaries. Like with people and friends and people you don't know, no problem. But family, it's hard. My siblings were, you know, just a little bit special needs and vulnerable. But I didn't realize how much I was carrying and then coming home and just displacing it onto the ones I love. They weren't getting the best of me because I was giving it away to my family. And it was a pattern, and an old family pattern. And the more I started to pull away and help them empower themselves, it really helped. But I'll tell a bit more about that next week because I promised not another long video. So have a great day. It was my first day back to school. See, I keep talking, I'm terrible. And but there was nobody there, just us EAs and admin. But we're gonna get the school ready and hopefully see a few kitties next week. But yeah, it was pretty quiet. It was a little odd today. So I'll see you next week, if not the week after. Have an awesome week. Things are opening up. Be safe, be smart.